Traditionally, utility companies have had to send workers out to gather much of the data needed to provide electricity. Most of the devices that utilities use to deliver electricity have really yet to be automated and computerized. That's where a smart grid comes in. The grid amounts to the networks that carry electricity from the plants where it is generated to consumers. Each device on the network can be given sensors to gather data, plus two-way digital communication between the device and the field and the utility's network's operations center. A key feature of this grid is that it lets the utility adjust and control each individual device or millions of devices from a central location.
30% growth in electricity by the year 2030. And so the focus of the question becomes, what do we need to do from a technology perspective to meet that growing demand for electricity and do it in a way that we don't make a greater carbon footprint?
One of the many advantages of using smart grid technology is that it directs the flow of energy, enabling the easy implementation of renewable energy sources, such as wind and solar power. In addition, we can also increase the integration of large-scale renewable energy systems, reducing our dependence on fossil fuels for energy. When the smart grid replaces the old aging grid, utilities will be able to better communicate, which allows for a more efficient transmission of electricity and helps us manage our electricity needs. Through reduced operations and management costs for utilities along with reduced peak demand, the smart grid will also lower electricity rates and power costs for consumers. Lastly, the smart grid improves security by making use of technologies that improve fault detection and allow self-healing of the network without the intervention of technicians. This ensures a more reliable supply of electricity and reduced vulnerability to natural disasters or attack.
Smart grids are absolutely fundamental if we're going to achieve some of our climate change objectives. If you like, smart grids are the glue, they're the energy internet of the future, and they are the essential component which is going to bring demand and supply together.
While there are a lot of great advantages with a smart grid, there are also some inherent disadvantages. First, we know that smart grids will help to increase electricity security, in other words, always making sure the electricity keeps flowing. However, despite helping to increase electricity security, any technology that is automated or must communicate with the computer is subject to outside intrusion. In other words, hackers. Hackers could gain control of thousands or even millions of electricity customers and create false consumer demand to the power companies, which could lead to unprecedented blackouts. Second, existing electricity infrastructure is well embedded in society. The current grid is about 150 years old, and the way consumers receive electricity hasn't changed much during that time period. Most people may think, well, why change the existing infrastructure? Why fix what isn't broken? But certainly as the advantages of a smart grid are realized by electricity customers, the concept of the existing grid will most likely fall out of favor.
It is clear that many countries worldwide strive to improve the smart grid. So the experts say that the improvements made by many countries will give an increased usage of smart grid. The energy prices are already getting more expensive. Rising energy prices mean consumers want more control over their bills. Governments, worried about both recession and the warming of the planet, have become more active. America's Department of Energy will soon start to provide the $3.9 billion for smart grids in the country's stimulus package. In Germany, smart meters will be required in new buildings from next year. Britain plans to complete an innovation of such devices by 2020. China has a 5-year plan to make the core of its grid smarter.